Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. Stopping Iran's quest for a nuclear weapon dominated a conference of pro-Israel supporters in Washington. Vice President Biden insisted President Obama was not bluffing about using force if necessary to stop Iran. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu showed frustration with the U.S. strategy. He's calling for a, quote, credible military threat. Only weeks ahead of President Obama's first trip to the Holy Land, the White House is stressing the strong ties between the U.S. and Israel.
From the moment the president took office, he has acted swiftly and decisively to make clear to the whole world and to Israel that even as circumstances have changed, one thing has not: our deep commitment to the security of the state of Israel. That has not changed.
But tension is rising over Iran's nuclear weapons program. Speaking to America's largest pro-Israel lobby, Vice President Joe Biden reaffirmed the U.S. pledge to intervene militarily with Iran's nuclear program, but only if all other options fail.
Our strong preference, the world's preference, is for a diplomatic solution. So while that window is closing, we believe there is still time and space to achieve the outcome. If God forbid the need to act occurs, it is critically important for the whole world to know we did everything in our power. We did everything that reasonably could have been expected to avoid any confrontation.
Speaking to the group by satellite, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pushed back against U.S. hesitation.
Diplomacy has not worked. Iran ignores all these offers. It's running out the clock. It's still not crossed the red line I drew at the United Nations last September. But Iran is getting closer to that red line.
Mr. Obama makes his trip to Israel later this month. It is his first visit to the Jewish state since becoming president.
North Korea is threatening to cancel the 1953 armistice that ended the fighting with the South. Since the two nations never signed a peace treaty, they technically are still at war. The threat is in response to the UN's plan to level a fourth round of sanctions against the North for its nuclear test in February. The U.S. worked closely with China, North Korea's closest ally, to draw up the new draft punishing Kim Jong-un's regime. The UN Security Council meets in a closed session today to discuss that document.
A late-season winter storm is barreling through the nation's heartland on a path to the mid-Atlantic. 19 states from Montana to Virginia are under winter watches and warnings. In North Dakota, plows cleared roads after more than a foot of snow hit some parts of the state. Poor visibility and hazardous conditions proved dangerous in Colorado, resulting in a multiple-car pileup on I-70. Chicago could see up to 10 inches of snow later today, and Washington, D.C. is bracing for its biggest snowfall in 2 years.
This year we've already had 4 blizzards and now this winter storm and several others, so it's been quite a busy winter.
The storm will continue into the Appalachians and mid-Atlantic by Wednesday and Thursday.
House Republicans are looking to soften the potential damage of those across-the-board spending cuts. They've introduced a plan to fund day-to-day federal operations through September. It would also head off a potential government shutdown later this month. The measure would leave intact automatic cuts of 5% to domestic agencies and 7.8% to the Pentagon. The legislation would then award the Defense Department its detailed 2013 budget, while other agencies would be frozen in place at 2012 levels. The GOP funding measure is set to advance through the House on Thursday.
President Obama has named 3 more cabinet nominees to round out his second term. He announced Monday the nomination of EPA veteran Gina McCarthy to head the Environmental Protection Agency. He chose MIT scientist Ernest Moniz to lead the Energy Department and nominated the head of Walmart's philanthropic wing, Sylvia Matthews Burwell, as his next budget chief. All 3 of the president's nominees will require Senate confirmation.
Roman Catholic cardinals from around the world have gathered at the Vatican. They're meeting to choose the successor to Pope Benedict, who resigned Friday. John Waggy has the story.
The cardinals began arriving for the first meetings ahead of the papal conclave just hours after Pope Benedict became the first pontiff in 600 years to resign rather than die in office. The finality is reflected in the Pope's Twitter page, where Benedict's picture has been removed and his tweets deleted. Monday's meeting opened with prayer, and each cardinal took an oath of secrecy, pledging to keep quiet about matters related to the election of the next pope. But outside, an international media horde follows the cardinals, giving it some of the trappings of a political campaign. Campaigning on the part of those considered to be frontrunners is strictly forbidden, and the 115 cardinals who will choose the new pope know the nature of their task.
And this is a spiritual act in which we are supposed to, or we are obliged to, elect the new pope.
La Iglesia está dispuesta para cualquier papa.
Spanish Cardinal Carlos Amigo Vallejo says, in the Church, you don't have nationalities, you don't have colors or parties. Any bishop, a baptized Christian, will be perfectly accepted in the Church. 11 American cardinals make up the second largest group of all the nations, and most will be casting their first papal ballot.
I would be looking for someone who has that vision and that energy to say, this is what I want to do with this pontificate.
Like a pastor in a parish, you know, when you have somebody who basically connects with people.
The date for electing a pope wasn't determined Monday because a handful of cardinals have yet to arrive. Meanwhile, a tailor's shop in Rome is displaying the white vestments ready for the new pope to wear when he is chosen. John Waggy, CBN News.
A federal judge in Vermont has sentenced a Mennonite pastor to 27 months in prison. He was convicted last summer of helping a woman flee the country rather than share custody of her daughter with her former lesbian partner. Pastor Kenneth Miller remains free while he appeals the case. Lisa Miller and her daughter fled overseas in 2009. Miller is the child's biological mother. She and her ex-partner had a civil union in Vermont, but Miller became a born-again Christian and left the homosexual lifestyle. Lisa Miller and her daughter are believed to be hiding in Nicaragua. The pastor and Miss Miller are not related.
A Muslim cleric in Florida has been convicted of sending thousands of dollars to the Taliban in Pakistan. A federal jury found the 77-year-old imam guilty on charges of providing material support to terrorists and conspiracy. Each charge carries a 15-year sentence. Hafiz Khan says the money went to family members, charities, and religious schools in the Swat Valley. But the FBI says hundreds of taped conversations show Khan expressed support for Taliban attacks and wanted to send $50,000 to the terrorist group.
Thousands of runners from around the world made their way to Jerusalem recently. They came to show their support by running the Jerusalem Marathon. Here's the story now from CBN's John Waggy.
It was a chilly morning, but that didn't stop athletes from running in the third annual Jerusalem Marathon.
Our first marathon.
Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat also takes part.
We have a wonderful event, very special. The city is looking forward to see so many runners, 20,000 runners in Jerusalem, and we're very excited.
He says 3,000 years of history makes this event unique.
It goes in the old city, out the old city. You see the beautiful sights of Jerusalem. Most people come not only for the running event, but also to spend some time in Jerusalem.
Almost 2,000 runners from 52 nations joined 18,000 Israelis for the race.
And here is the nicest place to run. It's a combination of many different things, and it makes it very nice.
I run in Berlin, I run in Cologne, all over in Germany, but not in such an exciting and historical scene like here.
And at one point, some unexpected visitors joined in the fun. The Bible says Jerusalem is like a city set on a hill, which adds to the challenge.
It's a great course. It's tough. It's hilly, very hilly, but the course is beautiful. It's like going through a tourist bus.
And some ran with a message.
I thought about running with a message, and I love God is love.
We are a big group from Hungary. We would like to support Israel, that Jerusalem is the only undividable capital city of Israel.
And others?
Because it's Jerusalem. Because it's a half marathon in Jerusalem.
This is where, God came to the world. To run a marathon here, especially through the old city, it's beyond our comprehension.
Barkat says the marathon helps broaden Jerusalem's appeal.
We have integration of spiritualism, sportive event, communal event. All that together makes the Jerusalem Marathon a unique experience.
He predicts this year's participants will go home as ambassadors for Israel and return to run the streets of Jerusalem in the years to come. John Waggy, CBN News.
The new epic TV series about the Bible is drawing huge ratings on the History Channel. The first two-hour installment aired Sunday. The History Channel says the premiere of the Bible attracted 14.8 million viewers. 4 more installments of the miniseries will be broadcast each Sunday night this month. The series was produced by Roma Downey and Mark Burnett. They say they're, quote, deeply honored to be given this once-in-a-generation opportunity to breathe new visual life into the Bible's profound stories.
Televangelist Benny Hinn and his ex-wife Suzanne remarried after divorcing in 2011. The couple tied the knot Sunday at the Holy Land Experience in Orlando, Florida, in front of 1,000 well-wishers. Pastor Jack Hayford presided over the ceremony, and evangelist Reinhard Bonnke was in attendance. According to Charisma Magazine publisher Steve Strang, Hayford said the remarriage is a miracle of God's grace. Bonnke said it would provide healing for millions of other broken marriages.
Coming up, the right to keep and bear arms. Hear why some say it's more than just an amendment, it's an insurance policy.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
8 former Drug Enforcement Administration chiefs are calling on the White House to sue Colorado and Washington. Both states have legalized recreational use of marijuana, and the former DEA leaders say the federal government is not moving fast enough to reverse the move. Marijuana is still illegal under federal law, but one of the former DEA leaders says not acting will create, quote, a domino effect in which other states will follow Colorado and Washington's lead.
The National Rifle Association is attacking the Obama administration for a Justice Department memo. The NRA says the memo shows that the administration does not believe its gun control plans will work unless the government seizes weapons and requires national gun registration. The memo questions how effective gun control measures can be by themselves. The Justice Department says the memo doesn't represent official policy.
The tragic shooting at an elementary school in Connecticut last December quickly led to more calls for gun control. But opponents just as quickly pointed to the Second Amendment and its guarantee of the right to bear arms. But what does that really mean? Jennifer Wishon takes a look at that question.
Emotion fuels debate.
The people want us by an overwhelming margin to ban these weapons.
And I will tell you here today, you will take my ability to protect my Victoria from my cold, dead hands.
Politically, the issue can be a minefield.
The criminals won't go to purchase the guns because there'll be a background check. We'll stop them from the original purchase. You missed that point completely. And I think it's basic.
Senator, I think you missed it.
Let there be order.
For the root of these opinions, you must go back to the beginning, when the Second Amendment to the Constitution gave a birthright to all Americans. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What does that mean? Dr. Joyce Malcolm at the George Mason University School of Law has written several books about the origins and meaning of the Second Amendment.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Gives the people the right to be armed for their personal self-defense.
It also serves as an insurance policy for liberty.
The idea that out of 300 million Americans, about 90 million own firearms. And when you have 90 million gun owners out there, that mere fact is a deterrent to any future head of state that this is a fight he would not want to pick.
The fight Britain picked with American colonists sparked the Bill of Rights. Americans attached the list to the Constitution to address abuses by the British Crown before America won her independence.
There are plenty of constitutions in the world that have wonderful lists of rights, and the people don't enjoy any of them. So this was meant to be a protection.
Still, as recently as 2008, there were questions about whether the Second Amendment guaranteed not just a militia's right, but an individual's right to bear arms. The Supreme Court settled it in District of Columbia versus Heller. It ruled that the Second Amendment protects an individual right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia, and to use that arm for traditionally lawful purposes, such as self-defense within the home.
When someone breaks in with a weapon, you have not just the right, but the obligation to protect not just your life, but the lives of the little ones that have been entrusted to you.
The court also ruled that the Second Amendment isn't unlimited, specifically noting long-standing prohibitions on the possession of firearms by felons and the mentally ill, laws forbidding the carrying of firearms in sensitive places such as schools, and regulation of the commercial sale of arms. Then there's the current push by President Obama to ban certain types of guns. But the Heller opinion says popular arms can't be banned, and many argue that covers so-called assault rifles, popular among Americans for both self-defense and hunting.
Faithful adherence to the original meaning of the Constitution is the cornerstone to protecting individual and family liberty in every regard, including the Second Amendment.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Up next, the most powerful man in the Arab world's most influential country, and he's set to receive 16 fighter jets and 200 tanks from the United States. So who is this man, and why is America helping him be armed?
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans. with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right. You could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Over the past few months, Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi has seized absolute power over his country. The Muslim Brotherhood leader enjoys support from the Obama administration.
But his opponents call him a dictator who wants to turn Egypt into an Islamic state. Eric Stakelbeck takes a closer look at the man some call Egypt's new pharaoh.
He's the most powerful man in the Arab world's most influential country. He's referred to America as an enemy. As a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, he denies Al-Qaeda was behind that attack. Yet he's due to receive 16 F-16 fighter jets and 200 Abrams tanks from the Obama administration this year, and a majority of Republican senators signed off on the deal. So who is this questionable ally that America is helping arm?
He's a rough personality. He's quite hostile. He doesn't like to answer questions.
The Washington Institute's Eric Traeger studies the Muslim Brotherhood and has interviewed Mohamed Morsi face-to-face.
He was considered within the Brotherhood a hardliner, somebody who was there to enforce the Brotherhood's most hardline ideas, whether it came to saying that women and Christians can't even run for the presidency of Egypt, whether it was their foreign policy ideas, their hostility towards Israel.
Morsi put that hostility on full display in a series of interviews before he became Egypt's president. In one, he called Israelis bloodsuckers and warmongers and referred to Israel and America as enemies. He also quoted from the Quran, calling Jews the descendants of apes and pigs. In another interview, Morsi called on the Muslim world to confront Israel and boycott goods from any nation that does business with it, including America. He branded Jews hostile by nature and called for every inch of Israel to become a Palestinian state.
The idea that he would moderate, that he would rule inclusively, always overlooked who he was within the Brotherhood and assumed also that he could change in ways that are simply not realistic.
Traeger says that Morsi hails from the Brotherhood's most radical wing. Yet the Obama administration appears to believe he's a positive force in the region. When Morsi helped broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas late last year, administration officials publicly praised him. Then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton thanked him for his, quote, personal leadership. And according to the New York Times, President Obama told aides he was impressed with Morsi's pragmatic confidence. He sensed an engineer's precision with surprisingly little ideology. Just one day later, Morsi issued a decree banning any opposition to his laws and decisions in Egypt. Egyptians responded by taking to the streets in violent protests that continue to rage.
Now, Morsi holds in his hands all the powers of judicial, legislative, and executive. And also, nobody can cancel his decisions.
Zvi Mazel is a former Israeli ambassador to Egypt and has seen the Brotherhood up close.
According to my understanding of the Muslim Brothers, that ideology will be superior to pragmatism. It means that they will provoke crisis with Israel and also with the United States. Because, listen, Muslim Brothers fought for 84 years to reach power, yes, and impose Sharia. Now they are in power, okay? Will they say, okay, now we become modern people, we are going for high tech, and God is not, Allah is not important? No, it's impossible.
Morsi's government is vowing to honor its peace treaty with Israel for now. Another interesting note about Morsi, he reportedly joined the Muslim Brotherhood not in Egypt, but here in America, while he was a student at the University of Southern California. Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News, Washington.
Baffles my mind.
I tell you, we saw this people protesting John Kerry's visit there over the weekend. They were also protesting Morsi as well.
Definitely need to stay with us. We'll be right back.
game show of biblical proportions is back with more action, more fun, more stars. Kirk Franklin, Mary, and more nuns.
The nuns just whooped you, man.
The American Bible Challenge Season 2 premieres Thursday, March 21st at 9/8 Central, only on GSN. Visit GSNTV.com to find GSN in your area.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
The game show of biblical proportions is back with more action, more fun, more stars. Kirk Franklin, Mary, and more nuns.
The nuns just whooped you, man.
The American Bible Challenge Season 2 premieres Thursday, March 21st at 9/8 Central, only on GSN. Visit GSNTV.com to find GSN in your area.
CBNnews.com. News you want, when you want, 24/7. Stay current with up-to-the-minute stories.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News, New York.
I don't have to wait for my news anymore. CBNnews.com at your fingertips all day long.
I only watch the stories I want to see.
I find the story, I click on it, and boom, I'm there.
Embassy in Washington, Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News.
The source for your news, CBNnews.com.
For some, that GPS tracking device in that iPhone can be an intrusion of privacy.
That's right, but for others, it's a godsend.
I thought my car was gone for sure.
A North Carolina man thought he would never see his vehicle and cell phone again. It was stolen by a thug whom Mitchell Dennison had met just days before. The thief had promised Mitchell a job, but instead stole his car. That's when local police stepped in.
Now I believe it was set up the whole entire time. He typed my information into his thing and pulled the tracking device right up.
The officer was able to track down the car by Mitchell's cell phone, which was fortunately still inside. The man was quickly arrested. Thank God for those GPS devices in our phones.
You got it.
That's why they call them smartphones.
Smarter than us, that's
Smarter
for sure.
than that crook, that's right.
You got it. Well, that is going to do it now for this edition of the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us next time. Have a great day. God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.